Yeah, so it's 2025 and a lot of old school R&B tracks are coming back in different forms. So let me try to flip a classic R&B song into a modern Afrobeat bounce. If you're new, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. So right here I have this song by Usher called Confessions Part 2.
Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side.
So how we are going to go about this is real simple. First, we're going to find the tempo. Next, we're going to find the key. And then we're going to build a chord progression, build a drum bounce, and then sample some elements from the original song so that it gives us that sampled vibes. So first thing we want to do is find the tempo. This is the original song right here. You double click it, right click, detect tempo, and typically it will be between 75 to 150. And it's going to detect. So the tempo is actually 137.998, but you can just simply round it off to 138, which I already have right here. Then the next thing you want to do, if you have a more recent version of FL from FL21 and above, you can actually split the stems, which will make it a lot easier for you. You can just click the top left of the clip and then come right here to extract stems from sample, and it's going to separate all of this into the drums, bass, instruments, and vocals so that you have more flexibility on how you sample. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn off the vocals for now, and you want to pick out parts that are interesting to you. Most times I recommend you pick out parts that have an easy repetitive melody. Okay, that's one of the easiest ways to sample, and in this case is this part right here. So you can just simply cut out that part. So I'll just come right here and change it to bar mode so I can have a clean cut. You want to make sure it perfectly loops. So I'm going to highlight this region. And again, since it already loops perfectly, I can then make sure it's in stretch mode. Okay. Make sure everything here is in stretch mode so that when you change the tempo, it would still sound like it makes sense. Okay. Even the original song still in stretch mode. Next, what we're going to do is bring down the tempo, okay? Because 138 is too fast for Afrobeat. So we're going to come right here, type in value. Let's try 110. Okay, so I'll go 110. 110 will be my final tempo. Now, I want to cut out some more parts for the song before I even get into creating the chords, which I will shortly. So there's a part in the vocal where he said,
Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta give questions. If I'm down,
yeah. So I want those parts, I want those chops. I'm going to chop them up.
damn near cry.
Change my timing from bar mode to a quarter beat. So I want that. Then we'll come back and listen. Then repeat this as well. But we're going to take it to a higher pitch. Let's make this unique. A sample. And then take it to a higher pitch. Then we're going to come right here and link it to the mixer. Let's add some simple effects, more like radio effects. Then let's add a drum pattern. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to open my channel rack. Then the sample may be too loud, so we turn that down. I keep making it unique so it doesn't affect the original sounds, okay? Because we may go back to it for any reason, so we don't want to over process and find out that we've gone too far to, you know, go back to get some ideas from the original. So come back here, link it again, and I always like to use some EQ to shave off, kind of like shape the sound into a new thing. Then let's add some percussion. Let's add this. Let's highlight this. All right, now let's add a chord progression. So first, to find the key, you can use a free website like tunebat.com/analyzer, and you can just upload this song and to tell you the key, okay? All right, so since we know the key, we'll just go to a new pattern. Let's bring in a sound. So let's use expand for the chords, and I'll come right here, and let's come to electric piano. Let's use that soft mark 2. So we'll come to piano roll. So remember the key was A flat major. So we just reduce velocity besides soft. We just create a simple chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 3, 5. And then make sure your snap to scale is on so we can move up and down until we find the correct chord. Then I want this to go up here. Yeah, like that. So now, but if you notice, there's some kind of clash between the original piano sound here. So there's this sound here. You can just trim that out. I could just highlight this and bring it here. You can see here some of the piano, so let's fade it in a little bit. So let's see what we can do with some extensions. So this is 5. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's just raise. This is an inversion instead. 5. So let's just come right here. let's add a bass. I'm in the mood for a bass. I'm going to come to Triton. Then we're going to come to piano roll. Just follow the root key of each chord. Now, most basses are typically on the third or fourth octave. So let's bring it one step down and see how it sounds by pressing Ctrl down or Command down on Mac. Not bad, but let's take this guy up. Nice. Now let's add a counter. So I'm going to use pure lo-fi for that. I like the sound already. So since I'm using my computer keyboard, I'll just come right here, change the key so that I'm always on key. So major. So let's come to let's play simple counter melody. Let's take to high octave. Then we'll do something similar here again. So let's add another counter melody. I'm in the mood for pure lo-fi today, so I'm going to be using pure lo-fi again. And let's just start from keys from the very top and see what we can get. Not bad. Okay, let's try that. I was like, go like dun dun. So let's go to high octave. Let's add a pluck key. I think I'd love to add a pluck key. Let's add sky keys. So let's come to plucks. Okay, I like this sound. Let's try this. Let's try repeating that again. Let's bring it down to a low octave. But typically these melodies are usually in the fourth or fifth or sometimes even sixth octave, but feel free to like mess around a bit. Let's try the third octave and see how it sounds. I like that, but this guy right here, I'm going to make some adjustments, bring this try that again. So let's add ambience melody. So let's open up Analog Lab. I like using Analog Lab a lot for ambience melodies. I also use other sounds, for sometimes when I need that weird sound, I go for Analog Lab. So let's come to Explore. We'll come to Styles. We just come to, sometimes I just keep my options open and I just come to under characteristic and I look for either atmosphere or pad. So I can see atmospheric right here. I can either do atmospheric, I could do ambient sometimes, depends on the options that comes here. So let's do atmospheric. So I like that. It's like a slow creeper, so I don't need too much of it, just a little bit. And there's several ways you can play ambient melodies. You can either do, one of the simplest way, which just you following the bass note of each key, or the second way where you just simply click this, then click a different note, and then click a different note that makes up the chord. These are the two easiest ways to play ambient melodies. So, and they typically play in the 5th and 6th octaves. So I just use this as a guide. So let's take this to a higher octave. Let's make it a bit longer so the sound comes out. You can see we can get something on the 7th octave. Now, you don't always have to have one on each bar. I could take this out and I could take this out. I don't like that sound. Let's bring it down. Let's try the thirds, take it back up. Let's clone that again and add another sound. Again, we'll come to Explore, Styles, Atmospheric. Now, the weirder your ambience melodies, the more interesting your beats will be. Try not to stay too safe by picking the simplest sounding ambience melody. Sometimes, pick weird stuff. That sound, I have an idea for it, so I'm going to just... Let's link that to the mixer. Again, shave off some high end, because the more high frequencies you allow from sounds to run through, the more it kind of like clogs up the clarity of the beat, because typically clarity is usually in the mids and in the high end. So I'm trying to reduce how much high frequency information I have. Now, for me to make it have that ambient feel, remember ambient sounds typically need to have like that sustain, that decay vibe. So I'm going to add a reverb to give it that vibe. So I'm going to come to, you can use Fruity Reverb, but I like to use Fab Filter Pro R, which is my favorite reverb right now. So so that's pretty much it. Now, sampling can be much more to this, and it can even be simpler than this. But this is how I typically approach any song when I'm trying to sample it and get a sample-based beat. So if you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more tutorials, tips, and tricks. Cheers.